What's up, fellow Vanguard nerds? I'm Babblerab, and right here is my first build of my Shizuku Harmony deck. So, when I first got all the cards from the Prismatic Divas set, Harmony was kind of the last thing on my mind, as was Cho-Cho. Cho-Cho, Reindeer, Riviere, Riviere, there we go. Cho-Cho, oh my god, it's pronounced Shushu. So, we're gonna start things off with a Things I Learned segment. First thing I learned, Cho-Cho, C-H-U-C-H-U, is pronounced Shushu. Because, yeah, whatever, I don't care. It's cool, I'm pretty indifferent with the name anyway. Second thing I learned, which really should have known a while ago. This is not a Persona flip. Third thing I learned, which is the sole reason why I built this deck, is that her skill, there's an errata on it, and it's the first version of the card. So if there's an English version of this, like an English image of this that I can show, or I'll just copy paste the card effect somewhere, I don't know. I'll show it to you on the screen if I can, but if I can't, then sorry guys. But the reprint of this, reprint being like the second print of it, has an errata because they got the original translation wrong. It says counterblast 1 when it's placed on Vanguard Circle, you search for a grade 3 card or a card with Shizuku in its card name and add it to your hand. So that goes from this thing being, it's already a decent card as it is because the whole second effect when you stride basically combos so nicely with the grade 1 and it's so abusable. But it just goes from being already a fairly decent card to being a flipping amazing card because this thing can search the other combo piece that is required in order to go to town, basically. So, yeah, this is the first build of my Harmony deck. First build, I took Harmony apart, built duos, and then duos basically did the thing where they never perform very well because Bushiroad don't like duos, so instead, we rebuilt Harmony because this thing can hold hand size and hit numbers? Question mark? So let's just jump straight into it. Akari. It's first lesson Akari. This thing is such a good starter. Nothing really else to say there. Unless your subclan has a better starter, you might as well just play Akari. It's pretty good. We're playing 3 copies of the card that you don't play 3 copies of. We're playing 4 copies of the duo heal trigger because who gives a care? And I for some reason don't have the Sandies. Don't question my sanity. I have no idea why I didn't actually get the Sandies. I got like the grade, I got 1 of the heal trigger, 1 of the G guard. I need to get like 3 more of the heal trigger, maybe 7 more, I don't know. Probably 7 more. I want 2 playsets of it. But, yeah, so, you know, I need to get, like, another lots of the heal trigger, and then probably 1 more G-Guard. So, yeah, we're playing these duo heal triggers here, because they're pretty cute. So, we got that going for us. It's pretty good. We are playing 4 of the Loris crit. I do play Loris as a backup and a second primary grade 3. She's really good on rearguard because I'm using the second Loris one, the reprint. So, really, overall, this card's it's there. I haven't used the effect in the little bit of playtesting I've done with the deck. I do intend to playtest a lot more, so yeah. But the effect is there if I need to get an extra power boost to my Loris, or if I need the extra card in my hand. And then, look, we're playing some duo crits now, because we don't have, actually there's really no other crits that have a really decent effect in Bermudas, I think. Yeah, it's mostly stands for whatever reason. Bushiroad's just like, we want to give you stands. Though, this stand's worth playing. Crook in Harmony, bounce to your hand, pretty good, pretty good. If my voice sounds like a little dead or lower pitched, it's because I was playing Star Wars Episode 1 Racer on the N64 with one of my friends. You know who you are if you're watching. I don't think you would be watching, but you never know. and I was playing Gran Turismo 5 and driving the Ferrari F40 on Nürburgring, and that car is like driving. Basically, it's if you take a car tires. Me in the future like show this as a diagram. It's if you take a car and replace the tires with wet soap. That's basically how it feels driving that thing in the game. It was pretty fun because, yeah, pretty fun. Playing Triple Shizuku. I now have like 8 copies of this because we opened so many packs. So, got the Shizukus that we need. Instead of going 2, we have like 8. So, playing 3 in this deck because Shizuku's really good. And she's one of the combo pieces that you run with your grade 3 Shizuku. And then, this deck's really GB reliant, so through the Strat Enabler, she can also cycle and get you to your Loris if you don't have the right Loris in hand, because I do play 1 copy of Miracle Voice because I only got 3 of the Shizuku grade 3. I do plan on getting a 4th one, so assume that this deck will be running 4 of it instead of one of the, like, 3 of the new Loris and 1 of the old Loris and then 3 Shizuku. So my plan is 4 new Loris, 4 Shizuku, just because Shizuku's amazing. But anyway, yeah, so this can basically fetch you if you want to play Loris that game, or if you need to get another Loris to your hand, like, yeah, so that's all there really is to describe it there. I'm just going to skip over you for now. This is a bit weird from what I usually play. It's not this card. This card's pretty standard. If your deck Counterblast heavy and you're playing Bermudas, play 4 Kukuri. End of story. And Harmony's pretty Counterblast and Soul Blast heavy, so you play Kukuri in it just like you would play it in Shushu. Tupumo. This card actually works really nicely on the defense, because what you can do is if you have the Loris grade 3 as your Vanguard, you can Superior Call something behind her, put her into Harmony, and then she's 16k base for the rest of the turn. So it makes her even tougher to hit. Plus, in addition, she can get a Vita onto your field to set up for the counter charge from it. Very nice. So that's only 12 grade 2s. My usual, or 12 grade 1, sorry. My usual that I play is probably 14 at most. But I think that's because I'm playing like 13 grade 2s. 2 of the Loris grade 2. I honestly intend on cutting another Spica for a 3rd one. I don't see myself using Spica at all. 2 Rika. Best counter charging and soul charging option that we have right now. And if you're like mass bouncing her with Celebrate Voice Loris, where are you? Then it's still good because you can get a bunch of other effects off. Plus Rika will just replenish you for the counter blast that you played, and then you have more cards on Soul to work with Vita. 3 copies of Spica. She just sits in my hand and has been used for guard fodder and all the playtesting I've done. I have a lot more cards I'd prefer to see on rear guard other than just her. So that's kind of why I just run 3. Or, no, because 3 is still the normal amount, but I'm debating on cutting her for another copy of this. So this deck, from what I've seen, doesn't swing more than 3 times per turn, but each column that it does swing with has, like, huge numbers. And, you know, when I say it doesn't swing 3 times per turn, I mean excluding Crook and Olivia. So, yeah. This still works fairly well, though. Like, the fact that it only swings 3 times per turn. Spica's okay, but she's not as staple as I think she was, like, a while ago. Triple Amelia. Resist, so they don't get to go and be a doof and, you know, lock your crap or retire your crap. So that's nice. And basically, this is your draw engine here. So as long as you can see Amelia plus, like, if you can get into an Amelia and then like a Shizuku, then if you can get both of them bounced in a turn, you're basically like, okay, I'm gonna check top 5 for a grade 2 or a grade 3, and then I'm gonna draw a card. And then if you have like Elprina or something, you get like, I can do that all over again. So you get lots of cards to your hand, and then your hand just like hangs around 10 cards for all game, and it's great. Love it. Vita's good. I'm playing triple. She counter charges, she returns herself to your hand, so you can dodge any like retire effects that you need if you need to do something like that. And again, she can put herself back in your hand and then call a grade 1 or less card from your hand to an open rear guard. Meaning, I can put her behind Loris, start of the turn, bounce her to hand, Superior Call some like a grade 1 or less, behind the Loris. Loris is once again a 15k. So you got these 5 cards here for additional defense to keep you from dying as much, which is nice. Going to the grade 3s. This should be, where are you? This should be 4. Ideally, you would want to play 4 of the new Shizuku. What she does is Counterblast 1 when she's placed on Vanguard or Rear Guard. I already stated this at the front of the video, but whatever. You check top 5 cards, search for either a grade 3 card or a card with Shizuku in this card name, add it to your hand. And then when your unit strides, it gains the effect, which is all cards or all units in your deck, all grade 2, excuse me, all grade 2 or less units in your deck get grade +1, turning them all into grade 3s. So what that means is when you combo her with other star player of the deck, you pull so much stuff out of your deck that you're basically like at the point where most of the stuff in your deck is triggers if you haven't been hitting triggers all game. So, and with this card here, you can loop this effect so many times as long as you keep putting it off the field. So you just get so many cards, it's not even funny. It is absolutely fantastic how insane this deck can be when it starts doing stuff. And then 5 Loris, this one, this is a Shizuku. So 4 of the new Loris, none of the original Loris, you don't need her in my mind, because Shizuku is the main focus of this deck. What's good about her is that if you do need to play more defensively, you can ride her on top, over top of Shizuku or as a starter. She still has a good on-stride effect because, you know, she is one of your main go-to builds or cards for like a different build of this deck, you know, with the 4 of her and 4 of her. But what I typically will use her as is a rearguard attacker, because when she becomes in Harmony, if she's on rearguard, she still gets 5k, which means that now if your opponent's only an 11k Vanguard, that's now a 10k to guard without any boost. So it's 10 to guard without any boost. You put any boost on there, she's now 15k. It's a lot easier to achieve than what I was doing before. And again, if you do need to ride her, she does still gain the 5k when defending, or 5k on Vanguard and Rearguard Circle. So if you're on the defense and your opponent's like playing really aggressively, and you're like, okay, I don't think I can abuse Shizuku too much, you can ride. If you're probably going to see a copy of this card, so it allows you, I guess, to switch your strategy up to play a bit more defensively, since 16k is a little tougher to hit than 11k due to the fact that like all 11k and 9k attackers pretty much can't do anything about you. Being someone who plays Maelstrom with Aqua Force, that deck very rarely will hit over 11k with most of its attacks. So when this deck is set up, you basically can't touch you basically are not damaging anything. All you're really doing is just trying to get Maelstrom or Lambros's effect off there. So that's kind of rip, but again, like from what I was hearing from like other Vanguard players here, Aqua Force ain't doing a whole lot for pretty obvious reasons. Like they just don't have the hand advantage. Having actually played an Aqua Force deck that I didn't immediately quit playing, I'm seeing the huge hand advantage issue, but when the deck does its stuff, it's pretty hilarious as well, because if it puts the opponent on the defense, they're basically finished, but like it also loses really quickly when it goes on the defense. So yeah, long story short and restate of this is basically if you need to play more defensively and your opponent's playing really aggressively, you can go and put her up to 16k, which is tougher to hit, and it can to an extent counter any decks that like swing a whole amount. Like Chocho I think swings, or Shushu swings for a bunch of small numbers, and this thing just says no. So yeah, that's the whole main deck. It is 50 cards. It's pretty good. I play 50 card decks because that's what you're supposed to play. These are the 2 cards that I would prefer to start with when I'm going, when I start the first stride, sorry. So Alprina, Soul Blast 2, bounce, or Soul Blast 1, bounce up to 2 to your hand. Combos really nicely when you happen to have Emilia plus grade 1 Shizuku in your hand. Because how you would typically do it would be, you know, I'm going to assume you weren't dumb enough to put the Shizuku in the field or get it retired. But actually, it doesn't really matter. But you go here, Harmony, check top 5, skill, Soul Blast, return both to hand, skill, draw a card, call, skill, Harmony, check top 5 again. And I believe how the once per turn works is once per turn each time it's face up on the field instead of just once per turn in general. So if I'm wrong, feel free to let me know in the comment section below, but that is how a lot of other people in my area have been treating this, so that's how I'm going to go with it. But yeah, so that's basically, assume you hit the stride, or you hit a, we'll say Shizuku's your Vanguard, and you hit a card off of Shizuku both times, plus the 1 draw off of Emilia, that's a +3. Not bad. And then on top of that, you're more than likely going to have her as well, so you can probably go Soul Blast, or put her into Soul, bounce, draw, and then draw like, so you get ideally 3 cards plus 2 cards, and then your deck, you get 5 cards to your hand, so that's really good. So yeah, that's kind of why I go for this for first stride, but that's usually just if I have Emilia plus Shizuku. This I haven't actually gone strode yet in the little bit of testing I've done yet, but it's there because the effect on paper is still pretty decent. When in Harmony, Soul Blast, bounce a unit, Superior Call a unit. Flip a card from your G-Zone face up. When in Harmony and it attacks, choose up to one of your other units in Harmony, return to your hand, choose a card from your hand, call trigger. So that helps with your multi-attacking if you're like need just a first stride. But yeah, so far I've seen the perfect combo with Emilia plus Shizuku, so I just keep going into Alprina just to go like plus a ton. And then to the Loris Stride, she's good for power plays. She makes your whole field pretty big. How I typically will use her effect is go front row, front row, front row, and then like the back row's already swing or already boosting for like a fairly huge amount of number, or the front row swing for like a fairly large number. So yeah, 2 because G-Zone space is a little tight and there's a lot of stuff I want to run in here. And then 4 Olivia, because this is one of the decks that can still benefit greatly from 4 copies of Olivia. It's not Prisms, and I don't think Prisms really need Olivia that much anymore. And it's also not Shushu. Oh my god, I'm so used to saying Chocho. But actually, I take it back. Shushu can still make use of Olivia as well. So yeah, it depends on the subclan, but some don't run 3, some do run 3. This is one that I would say is worth running 3 because you don't really have too many other decent generic cards. Like Prisms just have like good stride upon good stride upon good stride. There's so many good things that you can do with Prisms. 1 copy of Angie. Angie is not a persona flip, so you can just flip up anything in the G-Zone. You don't really need more than 1. This is basically to help out with your Link Joker matchup when they lock all your shit because they're terrible people. I just un-G-rated the video, but you know what? I'm like so close to the end that I don't even care. So, sorry guys! So yeah, when Link Joker locks all your stuff, you just say, alright, I'm going to stride to Angie, I'm going to choose all of these zones and return Eritin to the hand, and then I'm going to attack you for big number and quad drive. It's pretty good. 1 copy of the GB8, because there. Easy. She's good. Good finisher. I really like her effect. I didn't like her effect when I first saw her, but I like her effect now. 2 Citron. What do you do? Citron is the Superior Call when gains 10k. This again works with, where are you? Loris. So, like, again, it's the exact same thing as Vita and Pumo is, if they're attacking you, you're just like, no G-Guard with Citron. Citron effect, call something behind the wonderful voice Loris. Loris gains now 5k permanently. This gains a 10k shield, so you're now permanently 16k and you've just guarded for 25k. So, it's pretty good. It's like, it's nice how so many things do combo around this effect to power up and make her tougher to hit. It's actually cool how it can play offense and defense really well. Unlike some of the other Bermuda decks I have which like don't play defense really well, but like play offense really well. So yeah. 2 Leona. I don't know if I'm going to run Nasha anymore. I may actually cut a Leona if I can, once I get my next copy of Sandy, which I don't know when that's going to happen. But Leona I just kind of really like. She can do so. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, just take a look. I'm just going to take a quick look. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, okay, so you go like, if they're attacking you, you can say like, well, I want to bounce my Emilia to my hand, draw a card, and then guard with something, and that's pretty good. So, it can plus off of your Emilia or any other unbounce effects, so I think I've actually, during some practice, like, just playtests, I went and like used Leona, bounced a Rika to hand, and then used the Rika to guard with, because I didn't actually really need the Rika afterwards, and then that got me Soul and Counterblast to do stuff, so it does combo pretty well. I like running 2. I'm getting less and less of a fan of Nasha, but then again, she's also starting to get a little dated as a G-Guard, in my opinion, but that's just that. And then, last 2 is Sandy. I think I do want to run 2 instead of 3, I don't know. I'm still indecisive about it. I'm probably going to test 2 Sandy versus 2 Leona, but she's good because this deck can get a very big hand, and in some cases, it is a lot of grade 2s and grade 3s. It's not going to be guarding a whole lot, but like Sandy just turns like all those cards that don't have too big of a guard value, and just powers herself up like so much. She can hit really big numbers and just stop attacks. So there's that. And then you're really heavy G reliant, so I just was like, I'm just going to toss the Seabreeze in the deck because Seabreeze. So yeah. Overall, I do plan on doing a few test games in the next day or so, and those will probably be posted if my camera doesn't decide to be stupid. May have to like go and just put a disclaimer on every single one that my camera's special and doesn't record after a certain amount of time, so I might need to go and just like have everyone just go on the assumption that whenever the thing blinds out or like cuts to the next part, it's actually us realizing, oh, the camera stopped. So I don't know. But yeah, that was the first build of my Shizuku deck. Just same thing with my Shushu. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer them. If you have any suggestion for the deck, I am all for hearing it. I want to hear what you guys thought. Your guys' thoughts are. And other than that, I'm Babblerab, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.